Attention passionate Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Pittsburgh Steelers' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Pittsburgh Steelers fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Let's get to the news folks, let's talk about a scenario that's been making waves in the NFL circles lately. An absolutely shocking and at the same time, extremely intriguing possibility that could reshape the AFC North and more importantly, the Steelers' future. Yes, we're diving deep into the rumors and the potential of a blockbuster trade involving none other than Kyler Murray, the Arizona Cardinals quarterback, being traded to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, I know this sounds like something out of a fantasy football league, but given the current landscape of the NFL and the recent discussions around Murray's future, it's a scenario worth analyzing in detail. We all know that the Steelers are sitting at a 2-1 record after the first few weeks of the season. It's not a bad start, but it's clear that there are plenty of questions lingering about their quarterback situation. Of course, Aaron Rodgers has stepped into the fold, and from what we can see on paper, he's been performing well. But there's a lot of skepticism about whether he can carry this team deep into the playoffs or even clinch another Super Bowl for Pittsburgh. Rodgers, despite his veteran presence and undeniable talent, is already showing some signs of inconsistency, and at 39 years old, durability is always a concern. The Steelers' hopes for a deep playoff run this year hinge heavily on how Rodgers adapts to the new system and whether he can replicate the magic of his previous seasons. But let's shift gears for a moment and focus on what's happening on the other side of this potential trade, Arizona. The Cardinals, after a rough start and some shaky performances, especially in their recent game against the Seattle Seahawks, are facing mounting pressure from their fanbase. Many are questioning whether Kyler Murray is the long-term answer for the franchise, especially after a somewhat inconsistent career that's seen flashes of brilliance, but also moments of doubt. Murray, despite his immense talent, has only made one playoff appearance, which ended in a loss. That's not exactly the resume that would secure him as the franchise's cornerstone for years to come. And it's not just about Murray's individual stats. It's about the organizational fit, the surrounding weapons, and the long-term vision. The Cardinals have been stuck in a cycle of mediocrity, as many analysts have pointed out, and the question that's been floating around for some time now is whether Murray can truly elevate this team, or if they should consider a different direction. That's where the trade rumors come into play, especially the one that's been gaining traction, Kyler Murray to the Pittsburgh Steelers. And folks, this isn't just some random speculation. This idea originally started gaining attention before Week 1, when NFL insiders and analysts were already pondering the possibility of such a move, and now it's gaining even more credibility as the season unfolds. Let's talk about the specifics of this hypothetical trade. According to a mock proposal by NFL analyst Daniel Alameda, the deal would look something like this. The Arizona Cardinals would receive a 2026 first-round pick, a 2027 first-round pick, a 2026 second-round pick, and a 2026 third-round pick from the Steelers. That's a hefty package, no doubt about it. But it also reflects the value that Murray could bring to Pittsburgh, an upgrade at quarterback who can bring a different dynamic to their offense. Alameda explained that Murray, despite his talent, has only made one playoff appearance, which was a loss, and he's been caught in a cycle of mediocrity with the Cardinals. The Steelers, on the other hand, are riding the wave of the Rodgers experiment, but with little long-term security. Now, for all the Steelers fans out there, this trade makes a lot of sense when you start breaking down the needs and the current roster's strengths and weaknesses. Murray, with his dual-threat ability, could be a perfect fit for the Steelers' offensive scheme. His mobility, arm strength, and improvisational skills could breathe new life into this team's offense, which, let's be honest, has struggled at times this season. While the Steelers have a decent core of players, including a solid offensive line and a promising defense, their quarterback situation has been a question mark for years. Murray's potential arrival could also give the team a much-needed spark in critical moments. We've seen glimpses of his talent, His ability to make big throws under pressure, extend plays with his legs, and create opportunities out of thin air. And let's not forget, Murray has a history of making big-time throws, and his PFF grade, though not spectacular last year, still shows flashes of a quarterback with high upside. But the question remains, is this trade even feasible? Well, it's complicated. The Cardinals, as of now, might still be hesitant to part ways with Murray, especially considering their 2-2 record and the possibility that Murray could still develop into the franchise quarterback they envisioned when they drafted him. Still, if they do decide to explore options, Alameda's trade proposal provides a solid framework. It values Murray appropriately, considering his talent and the current market. From the Steelers' perspective, acquiring Murray would be a game changer. It would give them a quarterback who's younger, more mobile, and arguably more explosive than Rodgers at this stage of his career. Although Rodgers has been a steadying presence, his limited big-time throws and a higher number of turnover-worthy plays this season suggest that he might not be the long-term answer. Murray, with his ability to extend plays and make throws on the run, could be exactly what the Steelers need to shake up their offense and increase their chances of competing for a deep playoff run. Let's talk about the stats for a moment. Murray's numbers over the past 7 seasons show a quarterback capable of making explosive plays. Last year, he threw for over 3,800 yards, with 21 touchdowns and 11 interceptions. This season, he started hot, with 742 passing yards, 6 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions in just 4 games. His big-time throw percentage and his ability to avoid turnover-worthy plays give him an edge over some of the other options available. Now, of course, he still needs to prove he can stay healthy and consistent over a full season. But if he's in the right system and surrounded by the right weapons, there's no reason why he can't reach new heights. And speaking of weapons, the Steelers do have some promising pieces. Their offense has been somewhat inconsistent, but they've got players like Greg Dortch and Michael Wilson stepping up, and Trey McBride is an asset at tight end. However, what they really need is a quarterback who can truly unlock those weapons and turn the offense into a more dynamic unit. Murray's skill set fits that mold perfectly. His mobility and improvisation could create more opportunities for receivers and open up the field in ways Rodgers hasn't been able to consistently do yet this season. Now, I want to address a very important point here. This whole discussion is based on speculation, on what could happen if the Cardinals and Steelers decide to make a deal. This isn't a report, folks. It's a deep dive into a hypothetical scenario that could very well change the course of the AFC North and the Steelers' future. It's fascinating to think about the potential impacts, not just on the division, but on the entire league. Imagine Murray playing in Pittsburgh, leading this offense with a fresh start, surrounded by a defense that's always been top tier and a fanbase hungry for success. It's a tantalizing thought, isn't it? Of course, there are hurdles. The Cardinals aren't just going to give away Murray without getting significant compensation, and the Steelers have to consider the financial aspects, how Murray fits into their salary cap, and whether they believe in his long-term upside. But given the current landscape, Rodgers' inconsistency, the Steelers' need for a spark, the evolving NFL, it's a trade scenario that demands serious consideration. And let's not forget, Murray's contract situation could be a factor. If the Cardinals are willing to part ways, they might want to recoup some draft capital and look towards rebuilding around a different quarterback or draft picks. For the Steelers, acquiring a player like Murray isn't just about this season. It's about planting a flag for the future. They could develop him, see if he's the answer for the next decade, and build around his talents. So folks, as we keep an eye on this story developing, remember that in the NFL, things can change rapidly. A trade like this could be the catalyst for a new era in Pittsburgh, one where the Steelers become even more formidable in the AFC. It's a story that's just beginning to unfold, and I'll be here to keep you updated every step of the way. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Pittsburgh Steelers news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Pittsburgh Steelers fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Do you believe that Murray is the answer the Steelers need to finally get over the hump? Would you trade those draft picks and take a chance on him? Or do you think the organization should stick with Rodgers for now and look to the draft or free agency in the future? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Pittsburgh Steelers. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, more analysis, and the latest Steelers news. So stay tuned, keep supporting your team, and as always, let's keep the passion alive. We're all part of the Steelers family, and together, we're going to keep pushing forward. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you next time.